So hi there, thanks for coming today. So thank you for listening in to this online talk about managing exam stress. I'm Hajar, a wellbeing practitioner at Centre 33, and I'm here with my colleague Ollie, who's going to help me with the tech side of things today. Do you want to say a quick hello or a wave, Ollie?
Yeah, hi guys. My name's Ollie, and I'm a trainee wellbeing practitioner.
Cool. And we'll get started. So, as many students are currently preparing for exams, today we will focus on the stress and anxiety that some students feel at this time. So this is a part 2 of the exam stress series, and we'll cover practical coping skills and ways to manage and reduce stress. We would recommend watching this alongside the other talk, part 1, understanding exam stress. Okay. So this is a 30-minute talk, and in terms of what we'll be covering, I just kind of need to mention a couple of housekeeping things first, and then we will look at signs and symptoms of exam stress and anxiety. We'll look at rumination, stress management, strategies, and relaxation techniques. We'll look at time management, self-care, and some common problems and solutions to those. Okay. Okay, so just a couple of things to mention before we get started. It's really important to ensure everyone's confidentiality and anonymity and have kind of this as a safe space for everyone. So that can I just ask you all to just keep your cameras and microphones turned off, please. We ask you please to not record or screenshot the talk. A recording will be made available on our website and YouTube channel in the next couple of weeks. So you can always kind of rewatch it if it's helpful. You may want a pen and paper to hand to make some notes as we talk. Okay, so firstly, it is important to recognise when you are experiencing stress or anxiety relating to your exams. So sometimes this feels obvious, but it often takes practice to kind of identify clues. The following sensation is kind of common when you are experiencing stress or anxiety. You might notice that you're struggling to sleep, having negative thoughts about future. You might notice you're feeling irritable, crying more often than usual. You might notice some increase or decrease in appetite. You might always think about your exam and worry about them, not kind of be able to enjoy things anymore in that way. And you might feel tired all the time, and frequent headaches or stomach aches are also very common. You might feel increased heart rate or panic, perhaps even kind of leading to a panic attack sometimes. You might feel overwhelmed, loss of motivation is very common. Mind fog or loss of concentration is also very common. Feeling nauseous or just having that butterfly feeling in your stomach is also a very common sign. Okay, so all you kind of are going to be thinking about is your exam and your assessments. So rumination is a term that psychologists use to refer to when we kind of think about these thoughts over and over again in our mind, usually about kind of past events. So we keep thinking about an event, how it could have gone kind of differently, what others did to us sometimes, or how we could have reacted differently, and what we could have gone right or could have gone even worse. So as you can imagine, rumination can be very quickly, and it can kind of lead to negative moods very, very quickly. So for example, imagine you're in a shop and you experience very poor customer service. So obviously the cashier is extremely rude to you for no apparent reason. So while some individuals would kind of simply shake it off and move on, others kind of may go over and over what happened in their mind. And this kind of is the rumination cycle. So some of those thoughts, kind of the incident that happened and all of that's happened, it kind of goes back in your mind again and again and again. And you might get thoughts like, I can't believe he spoke to me that way. I should have said something back. He now thinks I'm weak. These thoughts lead kind of to a drop in mood with kind of more rumination happening. And the more kind of the mood drops, even your vision kind of becomes a bit negative as well. So it's all what we call it a vicious cycle. So this type of cycle can also spin in a forward direction, and we can think about what might happen in the future, and this often leads to an anxious mood. So on the screen is a different example of a cycle. Imagine that you have a lot of revision to do for your exam. You really want to do well, but your friend might tell you they overheard someone say that the exam is going to be really hard this year. So the anxiety cycle is this, for this situation, may kind of be something that, like the one on the screen. So you might think, I'm going to fail my exam, and then that might lead you to feel worried and anxious, which will affect your behavior. So you might kind of keep putting off revision because of those negative thoughts in mind. And that just creates a vicious cycle. So it's very important to keep these in mind. So what to do if you're ruminating? So if you notice yourself ruminating about past events or worrying about future events, do the following. I would say distract yourself away from the rumination and the anxious cycle by kind of immediately doing something engaging or an activity, something that could be maybe active or exercise or housework, maybe watch a short film, go and talk to somebody. I would also say call someone or send someone a text message to let them know, listen to some uplifting music, dance in a silly way. I say listen to podcasts or even go for a fast walk or a long walk. You can also try to change the way you're thinking. So this one kind of will take some practice, I can imagine. Another strategy to deal with rumination and worries is to kind of write the thoughts down and either put them somewhere or rip them up. Identify kind of the thoughts that are kind of circling around in your head and create an image based on them. So what does your worry or rumination look like? Where would you like to kind of put your image? Stick it on the wall or kind of screw it up and bin it, just to kind of completely get it out of your mind. So your aim is to kind of get your worry out of the circling around your head and get it into the world in a way, because research has shown that, and it suggests that by identifying and externalizing the rumination or worries, you can improve your feeling of your well-being. So feeling some anxiety around exam time is very, very normal. Most people want to do well in their exams, both to kind of gain a sense of achievement and to progress to next steps, such as colleges or universities or even work. So these things alone create a natural pressure, which is difficult to kind of completely avoid. The key to managing exam related sort of anxiety and stress is to prevent it from becoming overwhelming. So understanding what is happening to your body when you are under stress can be a helpful place to start. So resilience refers to kind of the ability to handle stress when it arises and to protect oneself kind of against future stress. Again, research has shown that there are a number of qualities that kind of contribute to resilience, including social support, being a bit more optimistic, having a sense of humor, just and a self of kind of your self-esteem, just kind of boosting your self-esteem in a way. So a few ways to kind of build resilience is through social support. So social support is kind of the help provided by other people, such as family, friends, groups or communities around you. It can be the form of assistance that are kind of given through social support, can come in many different forms as well, have a significant impact. It definitely can have a significant impact on your well-being. It can benefit your social support kind of through physical health, greater resilience to stress, and you can kind of feel a little bit more security around you. Okay, so relaxation techniques for exams. There's so many, but we'll kind of focus on these three. So deep breathing, progressive kind of muscle relaxations, another one, fundamental parts of stress management. So these techniques kind of trigger the relaxation response, which cancels the body stress response. So this section, we're going to focus on how relaxation skills fit into stress management treatment. So the first one we're going to talk about is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So look around for a bit. Find 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can taste, two things you can smell and one thing you can taste. It'll be a bit difficult to find more things you can taste sometimes. And second one I would also suggest is the rainbow one. So choose a color, then look around and just notice everything you can see in that color, just to kind of distract your mind a little bit, get yourself thinking of about something different. And lastly, the hot cocoa breathing. So with this one, just imagine you are holding a mug of hot chocolate. This also kind of works with a real mug of hot chocolate sometimes. So just breathe in through your nose to smell the hot chocolate, and then count slowly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then breathe out through your mouth to blow on the hot chocolate to cool it down. And then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then repeat until you feel calmer. So relaxation techniques not only kind of provide immediate stress relief, but the effect also generalized. This kind of means the benefit of relaxation continues to be felt long after the exercise is complete. So these techniques work best when done regularly and during times of calm, rather than kind of exclusively when stress is at its peak. Okay, so tips for making relaxation a habit. So model relaxation practices kind of by starting or ending every session with a relaxation technique. This kind of also reinforces the positive effects associated with practicing relaxation. I would also say assign daily relaxation practice as homework. If I know homework is not the right word to kind of use at this point. So kind of reinforce the importance of that task by following up kind of at the start of every session and just kind of discussing the experience there. So just kind of make it part of your day in a way. So I'll say plan where kind of relaxation can fit into your daily routine. It might kind of help you to set an alarm as a reminder maybe, or kind of connect relaxation practice with another activity. For example, practicing deep breathing for 10 minutes after each meal. And just keep practicing even if the positive effects are small. And the benefits of relaxation can accumulate and grow with practice. The more you practice, the better you get at it, the better effect it's going to have. So time management is a big one as well when it comes to exam stress. So I'll give you a few tips around that. So use a to-do list or appointment book, kind of keep yourself in check. Write down your responsibilities, and not only will it kind of ensure you don't forget anything, it will also kind of reduce the stress by allowing you to drop your, the thoughts in your mind mentally to a to-do list. I would also say prioritize your tasks, focus on completing the most important ones, the quickest task first. If you have a few to-do lists, or few to-dos, that will only kind of take 5 minutes, knock them out quickly first, and then that will kind of give you a peace of mind a little bit, and then you can tackle the more difficult ones later. So break large tasks into small pieces. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you have a really big task before you. So breaking big tasks into small pieces will help you get started, which is often the hardest part. So for example, writing a paper can be reduced to a piece such as doing research and then preparing an outline, and then maybe writing an introduction paragraph first. Just breaking that big task into small tasks to make it more manageable. I'll say also it's very important to try and limit distractions. So spend a few days recording how much time you spend on distractions such as social media or TV, our phones in general, and then cut out distractions you don't actually enjoy, and then schedule time for the ones you do enjoy, and always set an alarm so you know when to kind of get back to work. So it's very scheduled. If you can't kind of limit your distractions, I know it can be difficult, get away from them. If you know that you will kind of be distracted anyway, get away from them. And I know it's a bit difficult to kind of do. Just create maybe boundaries between work and play by putting up a do not disturb sign on your door, turning off your phone, or going to a coffee shop without TV. Everyone is different in this kind of regard, so make the changes you need to kind of focus. Also say give yourself time between tasks. So plan arriving to maybe to your library 15 minutes early and bring something to do in case you kind of find yourself getting a little bit distracted at the beginning. So just kind of give yourself, schedule it out and then give yourself some time in the beginning and some time at the end to make it a little bit easier for yourself. And let yourself be less than perfect. This is very, very important. If you try to kind of complete every task to perfection, some of your other responsibilities won't get done at all. So focus on completing everything to an acceptable level and then go back to improve upon your work, I guess, if you have time. Okay, self-care is another very, very important factor to keep in mind. So when stress is at its worst, hobbies, I guess, relationships, free times are neglected. So as a result, stress worsens in that way. So this creates a cycle where self-care is completely neglected and stress just keeps growing. So self-care refers to your kind of favorite activities that help you relax and just have fun and feel energized. These could include talking to a friend, going for a walk, reading, or listening to music, or whatever else you kind of enjoy. The important part of self-care is not so much what you do, I guess, it's just that you do it in a way. So self-care means just taking time to do things you enjoy. So it's usually self-care involves everyday activities that you see yourself enjoying doing, reading, going on a little break. I guess it's a bit difficult if you've got things so close. So self-care also means taking care of yourself. This means kind of eating regular meals, getting enough sleep, caring for personal hygiene, and anything else that kind of maintains good health. Make self-care a priority. So there will always be other things to do, but don't let these kind of interrupt the time you set aside for self-care. And self-care should be given the same importance as other responsibilities. Set specific self-care goals. It's difficult to follow, I guess, through the goals, such as kind of, I will take more time for self-care. So instead, just set a specific goal, such as, I will walk for 30 minutes every evening after dinner. And another one, I say, make self-care a habit. Just like eating one apple doesn't kind of eliminate health problems, using self-care just once won't have much effect on kind of reducing the stress. So choose activities that you can do often and that you will kind of stick with. Also set boundaries to protect your self-care. You don't need a major kind of obligation to say no to other people. Your self-care is a reason enough. Remind yourself that your needs are as important as anyone else's. So a few minutes of self-care is better than no self-care. Set an alarm, kind of remind yourself to take regular breaks, even if it's just a walk around the block or kind of uninterrupted snack. Oftentimes kind of stepping away will energize you to work more efficiently when you return. Just take regular breaks. Unhealthy activities don't count as self-care. So substance use, I guess, overeating, other unhealthy behaviors might kind of hide the stress temporarily, but they do cause more problems long term. Keep up with self-care even if you're feeling good. So doing so will kind of keep you in a healthy routine, plus self-care might be part of the reason why you're feeling good. Okay, so common problems and solutions. So there is no point in making, I guess we'll go through them one by one. So the first one is, there is no point in making a revision timetable because I will just never stick to it. Well, with this one, so when exams are approaching, we can often kind of use up a lot of energy contemplating when we could kind of be studying. Creating a revision timetable will help you to overcome the feeling of being overwhelmed. It can provide you with something to focus on, kind of resulting in using your time more productively. It is important to be flexible when making a timetable so that it is easier to kind of stick to. For example, if you have planned to revise for maths at 3 p.m, but you have found yourself watching an extra episode of Netflix, you can still kind of push the reminder of your studies back an hour so no sessions are missed. A timetable will also kind of allow you to plan for regular breaks, which will help kind of with your productivity overall, and even your overall well-being. I guess second problem is I do not have time to get 8 hours of sleep per night each day. So I would say each day our brain become kind of saturated with all the information we have learned. So sleep lets us soak these new memories, I guess, and new information in so that they will kind of stay in there long term. It helps to increase productivity so you can learn more information the next day. So getting adequate sleep will really help you achieve the grades you are aiming for. Okay. The third one's I lie awake every night worrying about exams, making me too tired to revise during the day. Very common. So stress anxiety can make sleep more difficult than usual. It is therefore kind of important to maintain a good sleep hygiene to help us fall asleep. This means we should stick to a routine and get up at the same time each day, regardless of how tired we feel. It is also important to avoid blue light from smartphones or TV for at least, I would say, an hour before bedtime, as this kind of stimulates the brain and makes it harder for you to fall asleep. So instead, try and listen to music, listen to a podcast, or try some kind of meditation. It will also help to avoid, or it will help you if you avoid caffeine after 3 p.m, as the stimulant effect of caffeine on the brain can last for at least 6 hours. A daytime nap can also make it harder to fall asleep at nighttime as well. Keeping that in mind. Some more common problems and the solutions. So another one is my friends are revising the same amounts as me, but seem to know much more than I do. So it can be actually very stressful when you think that everyone is doing better than you, and so spending more time on revision than you, or just not feeling as anxious as you. But we are all very different, and that is okay. So just remember, your friends' results are not guaranteed, and life is very unpredictable, and they are likely to be feeling just as stressed as you without even showing it. Another one is I do not have time to eat regular meals or prepare healthy food. So with this problem, I say it can understandably be tempting to eat food at your desk to kind of maximize study time, but you will work more effectively if you take time to eat meals away from your workspace or your study space. Opting for healthy foods such as oily fish, kind of lean meat, fruit, vegetables, nuts, eggs, leafy greens, peanut butter. So these kind of will give you more energy, making your day more productive, I guess, and they will help improve your overall well-being as well. However, do not forget to be kind to yourself, I say, during this time, and also enjoy a chocolate treat every now and again. And next one is I am too tired to exercise after a day of revision. Yeah, it is important to kind of try and prioritize exercise, because this can help reduce your stress levels and anxious thoughts, and it can help to kind of help you get a good night's sleep as well, which will help boost your brain power in return. So try and find activities which you enjoy doing. That exercise becomes a fun break from revision, I would say, such as learning a TikTok dance, maybe, or aim for a 15 to 30 minute a day, and see if this kind of begins to help your mental well-being. Next one is, the last one is I feel guilty when I take study breaks. You are going through a very challenging time or a challenging period of your life, and it's okay to feel stressed. You must be kind to yourself and remember that this will not last forever and you will get through it. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so further support. If you need further support with your mental health, we would encourage you to reach out to somebody, whether it's a trusted adult in your family or community, or one of the people or kind of an organization on the slide here. So we've got a few on there. Or your GP, many, or any of these will kind of be able to help you. Centre 33 as well. The details will be on the next slide. So you can always reach out to Centre 33 for support with practical issues or emotional needs, whether it's a one-off chat about something as or when you kind of need it, or more ongoing support. You can help, we can definitely help with a range of things, including mental health, housing, employment, money, sexual health, or being a young carer. You can contact us Monday to Friday from 12 to 5 p.m. or Saturday from 10 to 1 p.m. Or leave a message kind of outside these times. You can call or text or WhatsApp or email. We have also reopened our drop-ins in our Ely in Cambridge and Wisbech hubs. Check out our website for the locations and latest opening times. So thank you very much for listening in this evening. I hope you have found this talk helpful and have a nice rest, or I guess have a nice evening.